Kia ora koutou, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this monthly session where we're joined by our colleagues from Latin America, and I'm going to hand over to Celeste and Raquel to introduce themselves and their team and their PowerPoint. Welcome and thank you for coming to share with us.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's a pleasure to us to be here and share with you our 2023 project and 2024, the advances of 2024 project, our evolution.
Well, maybe to start with introducing ourselves, I am Raquel Herrera. I am from Costa Rica. I was part of the project from the last year, 23, and now I'm from this year too, 24. The last year I think we achieved a lot of things with some of our projects that we are going to review in a minute. And also the group of last year was composed by Héctor Tuy from Guatemala, Víctor Quintero from Colombia, Marta Lanza from Bolivia, and myself. This year we have Celeste Ghiano here with us, and also Christian Gonzalez, who is, I would like to take a time for him to introduce himself. Little words from Celeste first to introduce her too.
Of course, meantime, I'm Celeste from Argentina, and even when I didn't participate in 2023 project, I was really involved and talking to Victor Manuel, to our colleagues to help from RELAC, because just from May, I'm not anymore the RELAC coordinator, but in 2023, we were working hard to develop and publish and make diffusion about the 2023 project. So this year I'm a little bit more involved in the project 2024 with Raquel as a co-leader. And we have 5 activities that we are going to introduce for some of you, and I know many of you know the 5 activities we are developing, so maybe we are going to share with you the stages of that. In this project 2024, Raquel is part, Adriana Anacona is part, Marta Lanza, Brainer Oliveira from Brazil, and Alcides Bussi from Brazil, the ones who were part with Marta in 2023 project too. Okay.
Well, for start, I want to introduce like our projects for 2023 that were part of some webinars. We have some peer-to-peer, we have the Voices project, and also as the document shared, we have a comparative study and 2 volumes of publications. But a little bit of a story. I think we start with 3 milestones. The first one was the conference in Guanajuato in Mexico that was called the evaluation toward the sustainable development objectives, and also all the activities that carried during 2018 and 2022 that were carried by the task force of RELAC called the evaluation from America Latina. That will hold like some seminars, interviews, and permanent reflection. So there was like a lot of discussion and talking about this topic in this task force. And also milestone number 2 was the RELAC conference of 2022, that was called Evaluación sin Barreras, Sindemia, Innovación y Sustentabilidad. This was a process of dialogue and construction of the perspectives with the common points of meeting and reflection about the colonization and evaluation. It was like a very important event in our community, and they were the first time that these evaluation approaches were like the first and the principal issue and the principal matter of of a conference. And our third milestone was this articulation with the EvalIndigenous, with these two projects that was our starting point for this investigation and for these projects. For this year, we'll be linking this Voices project with the seedings activity. We want to continue what we have done in the previous stage with the grants that we are working now with national BOPIs in Latin America. So in our case, we did like 5 videos, and for these areas, we decided as a team coin the term indigenous in the broadest sense. That means bring a broader view of what we think is the indigenous knowledge, because Latin America is a very mixed region and territory. So for us, this means including also mestizo point of view, urban point of view, peasant point of view, and African-American perspectives in terms of evaluation. From this, we are gathering all the text about like local evaluation, and specifically the one from Chilisa Bagele called Indigenous Research Methodologies, that where she states that indigenous knowledge is not just limited to the communities that are traditionally recognized as indigenous, but also it can be applied to different groups and different contexts. And she proposed that we can include some local and different marginalized or subaltern groups. So we did it like that, and we try to represent these different kind of thoughts in our video. So we did one in Panama, we did 2 in Costa Rica, 1 in Ecuador, and 1 in Colombia. Colombia was with approach from an urban perspective, Ecuador from a peasant perspective, Costa Rica was from a Brunca perspective, and also mestizo perspective. Panama was about the African American perspective. And as for sharing some highlights, because I just wanted to share like the main ideas, or at least one idea of each of the videos, we can talk about first like the silence as a technique or as a methodology. For example, silence is just not just a way to show respect, but also a way to learn, because sometimes we are used in this when we are like running a research process, they always have to talk, and it's always about discussions, and it's always about just trying to have the other person of the group talk. But we don't talk a lot about silence and how important it is, because it allows you to listen, and it allows you to rest your ideas, and having in this contemplating state of hearing like some inner thoughts and maybe a deeper reflection. So when we were doing like the videos, a lot of our interviewers, they say that the first step is just to enter into communities in silence as a way to humble ourselves, and a way to first listen what the others have to say, not us like with a singing voice, but otherwise first listen. And also like in the middle of the research, being in silence is an important step, because it allows you to like really get deep into the ideas, and also allows you to hear what the environment is saying to you, not just like being always having something to say, but also um, hearing the silence, and allow the space to bring this collective intelligence to talk to us as community. So considering silence as an important part of the process, and as an important part to consider during the application of the techniques, it's important because it's a space for individual reflection and also for collective reflection, to let all the ideas that have been shared to just rest into our minds, into our souls, and from that point to start listening to our souls and to our spirits, what are they getting from these spaces. The second point is the taking time for communal reflection and decision making. This is because the communal reflection and the communal process is always present during the whole evaluation. In the beginning with the design is also a participatory and a community process, and finishing with the decision making and with the dissemination activities, it takes the whole community. It's never just like a group of people making decision or taking like the leading voice. These are always communal process, and it takes patience because we have to work with different people, with all the people. We have to listen to all the people. We have to take those times, and also that brings a perspective of patience during the evaluation process. For example, one of the spaces could be a minga, that is this space where the people share to each other, where they share like some food or some discussions, but it's to have that time, to have this minga, to have these gatherings. Also, another possibility is the assemblies with no agenda, that maybe it could be like a scheduled assembly, but not necessarily that we have like to fulfill like some time with the specific ideas. Just let the assembly and let the group have their own life and have like their own course, and just being there like together to have this collective reflection, and again like this collective intelligence like can takes place. Another point is the timelines, that for this indigenous thought, that the timelines are not like a straight line, but are circles. It's not something that starts and begins, because it doesn't have like just one point where the project begins and the final project with it ends, because it's just like a community tool that is there's a continuous reflection, there's a continuous understanding about the community dynamics. So we have also like to change some words, because in many of our indigenous languages, there's no word for projects itself, or there's no word for evaluation as we understand it in Spanish or in English. For example, when we were talking about that, some of us tell us that for them evaluation is just deep reflection, it's just a process of really get into the situations and into the things, so they can see it as a straight line with the starting or a finishing point. Is just a circle that is just a continuous. Also, this tells us about the systemic approach or the systemic view of evaluation, and not as thematical as we see it here in the Western perspective, that we evaluate on a specific topic and we just like get to stick to that, and that will be a very clear objective. In the indigenous knowledge, we are talking about this community system, about this integral point of view of what is happening within a community. Also, when we talk about monitoring, they tell us, for example, that it's not as we understand it. Then we go back to the community and like have like a checklist and like some some for gathering some information. They tell that for them, like monitoring is about friendship and connection. It's not just that you go to have some information from them, is that you go to check on a friend, that you have to go to take a coffee, to share something to eat, to look how is the family, how is your life, how are you. And that is what they understand about monitoring, because it's not just about the project, or it's not something about a specific interest. Is about the person, and it's about the community again. So when we talk about monitoring, is more to check out to a friend, to check out to someone that I care and I am interested in that person. So they don't understand in the indigenous knowledge monitoring as as a follow-up, or for a specific task, but about this connection and this friendship. And the last will be like the love approach, as Fanny from Ecuador told us, that the earth gives freely with no like with no agenda, and that can be represented in the Chacana cross, that because it's the way that we can uh, feel like all the realms, the spiritual realm, the physical realm, that are together at the time of the seeding or at the time of or running a process. So is how we supposed to approach our jobs, to we supposed to approach our evaluations with that sense of multiplying, or with that the same sense of giving birth, as Fanny said, that is the same with the earth and same with women, that we are like ready to give birth and ready to give. So that is a contraposition with these perspectives of budget control or results-based management, because this budget control is also linked to this perspective of on trust, because I don't know what the other person is going to do with my money, or I don't know how they are going to manage the budget that I am giving. So that starts to put us in a control, in a way of controlling the situation. So it's not based on trust, and it's not based on giving. So that's also like a mindset that we need to change, or that we can learn from these like these methodologies, as the Chacana cross, for example. And so we can say that, for example, the evidence that can be gathered from the evaluation are for improving people's lives and for adding peace to their projects and to their lives. That has to do with the methodology that we are using, also with the indicators that we are using is different. If you want to measure just how many houses are built in a community, or if those houses are really giving peace to the families, are giving peace to the communities, are adding um, to the community life and to their worldview. So it's more related to adding peace to the lives of the people. Also, what I said before about the systematic vision, and not just approaching a specific subjects. And one of the things that really uh, I was like very touched and moved when they tell us is that they see evaluation as a river. It's not just something that go and get into a community, but instead it's a way of the you get into the flow of the community. It's just a way of getting into the flow that comes. That it's something that it was already happening before the evaluation and before the project, and the evaluator just get into that river and see what happens, see where it takes us. So it's a continuum of these waters, a continuum of this reflection that could be adapted to the life of the communities, and also as a community tool, not just something with some participatory approach, but also like be incorporated to be incorporated as a community tool for care and for protection, because here the discussion can get really deep, because some people are even like having their lives at risk because they have to defend their territory and their culture. So the evaluation has to help the people to protect their territory, to protect the resources, to protect their lives. So it's like a very broad and wider perspective from as for the evaluation, as we can maybe see it from academia, or we see it like in the classic approaches of evaluation. About the webinars, there were like four for events that were held during August and through November of 2023. And the objective was to deepen the reflection and generate some proposals to raise awareness and contributions from the different worldviews of the knowledge and of indigenous people. We tried to reach the Amazonian point of view, Andean point of view, Central and South American peoples, to just have the discussion about these views about evaluation. the 4 topics that we approach in these activities were like the first one was the knowledge and the worldviews. I look at the evaluation from the territories. The second webinar talk about the colonizing evaluation or the colonization of evaluation, challenges and perspective. The third one was proposals and the colonizing experiences of evaluation. And the last one was challenges of the colonizing evaluation towards the transformation of power relations. Um, there were like very productive and very long sessions. They were, I think, more than 2 hours of discussion. They will have like a very warm welcome from the Latin American community, a lot of participation, and they show really interested in this topic, in this discussion. So there was like a really rich discussion about this. And I think that the distribution of the topics was really wise because we had the chance to approach the different perspectives and also have the participation of different regions from Latin America, to have also like the point of view of the different stakeholders that were involved in the process, because we have participation from governments, we have participation from academia, we have a participation from indigenous people, and we have participation from indigenous evaluators too. So it was like a very rich discussion. These videos of the webinars and the voices are available at the website of EvalIndigenous in EvalIndigenous.net, and in the section of projects in Latin America, there are like the links to the videos if anyone can have the chance to go and check them. So there's like a lot of material and also some documents to share. And that webinars are just the starting point for this year's course on the colonization of evaluation that has these 6 modules. The first one is an introduction to reflect and criticize some different approaches and paradigms that are focused on social actors, knowledge, and worldview from the territories. The second module is an hegemonic and counter-hegemonic decolonial and intercultural approaches in evaluation. The third module is the paradigm of living well, decolonization, and the patriarchalization of evaluation. Fourth module is about gender and intersectional approach of evaluation. The fifth one are the colonial approaches in the evaluation of public policies, visions, and experiences. And the last one is the sexual evaluation, biodiversity, health, sexual reproductive rights, education, rural development, and urban development. So this course is being developed to be held this year, and it's part of our 2024 projects, along with the sit-ins with the Minga that Celeste is going to present right away. Also the relational guide, and this project is which Christian, who is here, is going to be helping us, and the course of decolonization, and of course keeping the work with the Atlas. So now I think it was
Great.
like the next one, but I don't know,
Thank
Celeste, if you
you.
want to start from here, let me know if
Yes,
you
of course.
want me to stop
Okay.
sharing the screen.
No, it's okay. Okay. Thank you, Raquel. Well, it's so good to see a lot of activities done and a lot of products, and the strength of our Latin America in indigenous evaluations approach. So just to share with you, we started last July, August. So we are new in this 2024-25 project, but we have at least 3 activities going on. The seeding activity is the one that we started the last September 3rd. It's a call for small grants like the other regions are doing. A call for small grants for VOPIS, RELAC VOPIS. This is a work doing jointly with RELAC. we prepare a protocol and we signed this protocol with RELAC and EvalIndigenous Latin America. We prepare the tours, and we finally published the call this last September 3rd in collaboration with RELAC in the diffusion, you know. So we have next steps are this Saturday 14, September 14, that in which we are going to present in the RELAC Assembly in 10 minutes the EvalIndigenous project, and specifically answer any questions about the small grants. So far we have I think Raquel, three people that are interested in four interested in participate, and we are trying to guide them to the VOPEs and work with their VOPEs, and we think that it will help the VOPEs, you know, to be strengthened. So we are in that stage in the seeding activity. Then, as Raquel said, and Marta, well, Marta can't be here, but the germinating activity led by Marta, Alcides, and Brainer Oliveira is this critical approach to evaluation in Latin America and the Caribbean. And as you could see, there is a 6-module course prepared, but the names of, you know, the modules, and they are now calling some main professors to develop the program, and they are negotiating, you know, with academic institutions, specifically one in Bolivia, to provide certification with us. And about the blossoming activity, you know, we could participate in 3 really great events with Adriana Nacona, who is here with me. And the thing or the product of this will be a documentary or 2 documentary, but 15-minute documentaries, you know, about the Minga as an epistemology which works in reciprocity with cultural responsive evaluation perspective. And we are in addition, we have a lot of material of that, videos and photos and, you know, pictures, and we are trying to edit in this. We have some interviews, so we think at the end of the year we will have some to share with you. But I prepare a presentation, so Raquel, can you let me share? Okay, Adri, are you there to say hello?
Saludo en español.
Saludo en español. She can say hello in
Saludo en
Spanish.
español. Bueno, buenos días. Me alegra compartir este espacio de evaluación, de pensarnos desde una forma distinta. Agradezco pues la oportunidad que tenemos en América Latina por juntar o articular diferentes formas de labores, y entre ellas estamos con Celeste documentando 2 ejercicios de Minga que realizamos recientemente en el mes de julio. Muchas gracias, y pues estoy escuchando la jornada. Buen día.
Gracias, Adri. Well,
y tal vez aprovechar to take advantage of this moment to introduce Christian also, but maybe he can just say hi in Spanish or English as you want. Can
you hear me?
Sí. Yeah. Sí.
Buenos días. Good morning to everyone. I'm Christian Gonzalez. I'm from Costa Rica. In this time, I am part of the group with en Costa Rica here to develop. Lo hago en español. Es un poco todavía el inglés. Pero estoy muy contento de ser parte de este grupo que está liderando Raquel, ¿verdad? Yo soy indígena costarricense, soy indígena boruca del sur del país. Entonces también estoy bastante emocionado para compartir muchos de los pareceres, así como decía Adriana, diferentes formas de ver las diferentes perspectivas occidentales a lo interno de los pueblos indígenas para hacerlo mucho más intercultural. Es un placer. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Chris. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Adri. Thank you very much. Well, can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, well, this is just a presentation to share with you some of our insights and some of our key findings in this experience. But as you know, we will have that documentary at the end of the year, hopefully. In this activity, we are engaged with Adriana, me, and Luis Arregui from Argentina, and in addition, and we want to make special acknowledgments to the Shanakuna community, especially the Major Henry from Valle de las Papas, Major Adiva from Cali, Colombia, who helped us to organize with Adriana all the activities, and the Misak community, the Taita Manuel Tunumbala, who shared with us all his knowledge from the Misak community, and that I will going to share with you a little bit of that now. And the RIA organization, the network of intercultural from Amazonia, network of intercultural from the Amazonia, and the Ministry of Culture of Leticia, Colombia. Well, we need to start telling you that the Minga is part of a wider perspective that shares the development of life specifically in Andean cultures in Latin America, called the Chacana or Cruz Andina. So as you can see there, this is adapted. This is not the original one from Carlos Villa, is the original one. But in the Chacana, the way of thinking and feeling and doing and developing life is in these 4 dimensions: spiritual, material, emotional, and the reason. And there are related, the 4 dimensions in some stages, in 12 stages, as you can see. And in that stages, they think and they do their daily life, if we can say, thinking about our relation with nature, our relation with others, and our relation with oneself. So the Minga is situated there in this stage related to work, the relation between the material dimension and the reason dimension. This is the work space. And they say that they can think about work as an obligation, in the next stage as an invitation, and in the next stage as a reciprocity. So we can situate the Minga there as an invitation, thinking in work as an invitation, and thinking in work as a reciprocity from giving and receiving, Adriana taught us a lot about this dynamism, about this giving and receiving from their community. Adriana is part of this community, so she's teaching us a lot about the Yanacuna community. So thinking about Minga depart from a pre-colonial system, which of course is before this colonial one, which has its own way of community work, their own government, their own justice system, and which is based in that Andean Chacana as an organizer of life. The Minga refers to a system of collective and community work with social utility and reciprocal character. So 3 principles guide this Minga, the Minga. The one is to collaborate with everyone. The second one is to share a common purpose. The third is to promote reciprocity, this giving and receiving. The Minga is also called mano cambiada, prestada. It's like a borrowed hand, like meaning helping each other. I give you, you give me, giving and receiving. In Portuguese, mutirao or convite. Minga is a way of working and community organization that allows us to recognize the knowledge and skills that each member has and the possibilities of complementing them with others. We could experience it in, as Raquel said, in our RELAC conference, in our session. We made a thought Minga with the community of evaluators. And we share our knowledges and our skills in that kind of, in this idea of not competing, but thinking about the result that will be obtained at the end, for the benefits of all that we have here. We had the great opportunity to practice this in RELAC, a conference, and in a FREA conference, we share an experience with Africa's colleagues too. It was great to share different experiences with storytelling from Africa, for example. Of course, we highlight that the contribution of cultural responsive evaluation frame is here, and it's a contribution, but we aim to recognize and make visible this complementation, this reciprocity, this giving and receiving between the Minga epistemology, we say epistemology, Minga epistemology, and cultural responsive evaluation. We think that there is a dialogue between knowledge systems. So in our experience, just like an avant premiere, I shared with you yesterday in WhatsApp some photos, and but we have some more here. We visited the Yanacuna community, the community in which Adriana is part. The Yanacuna community is located in Valle de las Papas, Cauca, Colombia. 21 families are living there, from potato sowing and harvesting, cow milk, knitting, and they have a new tour experience that they prepare with a lot of effort, a lot of work, called Yakuturniam. That means like the waterway, the way of the water, because they live near the river, and of course they use and take care of all of the natural signals to develop the relations, the daily life, So the natural goods and temples are part of the daily life. As you know, here the first picture is the harvesting, the potato harvesting. Then you have below one of their temples, the Paramo. We had the great opportunity to visit 2 paramos, 2 temples, and we made great, how do you say, ritos? Well, events there and praise. And well, one of the things they share with us is that young people, yes, they study, they go to the city to study, but in the weekends they come back to work their land and collaborate, supporting their people, their community, standing like the community, because they are really, there are only 21 families, and they are surrounded with a lot of troubles there, with government too. But in some ways, government is helping, but not a lot, as a lot of places and communities. Even when young people is there, old people are the wise men and wise women, the sabios, we say, the mayores, mayoras, the ones with the knowledge to share and transmit, like in other communities. We are going to share with you in the documentary, but we had a really difficult situation there. One of the mayoras, one of the wise women, has died there in that moment, and she was waiting for us a lot of days, a lot of months. And when we went there, we had that sad, notice that she has died there when we were there. So, well, we have this sad notice, but the great opportunity to share with them a really different culture of taking care of people and thinking about families, community, and the human beings, So this was a great experience that we are going to share with you. Minga is used to every decision related to one member, a family, and community, and we learned that this is a key finding, because we went thinking about that Minga was a moment, as Raquel said, there is a cycle, there is no time, there is no timeline, there is a cycle, there is a cycle, time cycle, and it was great to know that they live like in Minga mode, you know, every time to every decision they had to make, they do it in Minga, you know. When we have the great opportunity to, in that moment in the Valle de las Papas, to meet the people in land context and in urban context, we say. Adriana says people, personas en territorio y las personas en contexto de territorio y en contexto urbano, ¿verdad, Adri? In context, in land context and in urban context. So we met them in Valle de las Papas, and had the great opportunity to share and to learn about the different ways of living in the urban context and in the land context, you know. Then we visit the Misak community. We know that you know about Misak community because we have a Voices video about Misak community, but we were so close that we could go deep and visit there, thanks to the Taita Manuel Tumunumbala, who guided us to know about their culture. This is located in Municipio de Silvia, Cauca, Colombia, and 60% of the people still preserve the local customs, traditions, medicine, and education. So we could visit the pharmacy. They have their own pharmacy, great pharmacy. They have and they have their own university, the Misak University, and it was great to know how they are going. They are learning about. They have a really different way of learning, starting not from the curricula, but from the needs they have. So they have for access to work and are related to the needs they have, starting from their knowledge, you know. Well, they believe in life as spiral of growing, you know, as Raquel said, it's like a spiral and developing, and you can see it in that Talpanquari hat. I know many of you know about that. And Minga is part of the daily life too. So this was a great experience that we are going to share with you. And the last one was our visit to the Amazonia, to the Intercultural Network from Amazonia, in which 64 Aboriginal communities was meeting there in the Amazonia, in the border between Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. And they had a great opportunity to articulate their voices perspective to sustain their cultures. So we had a great opportunity to learn from there. We were hosted by the Ticuna community there. The Ticuna community still preserve their culture, their handicraft, and using storytelling. Not only the Ticuna community, all of them, the 64 Aboriginal communities, using storytelling, local music, dances, and natural handicrafting to explain life, but not only life, current problems too. And of course, they have not only the land problems, but in Amazonia, a lot of problem of, I don't know if it's minery, but the translation, but yeah. So we think about Minga as a frame to act collectively and think in solidarity in its decision. And we think that it could be used not as an activity, but maybe as a criteria for developing evaluation and thinking about how to do evaluations. So we don't think in a Minga as a methodology. We think in a Minga as an epistemology. To maybe we need to start building our knowledge from this kind of perspectives. So key findings, at least so far, Minga is part of every decision. No, it's not a moment. They live like in Minga mode, as I said. Minga is useful to leverage the best knowledge of each member. The best knowledge each member can share. You know, you give your best there for the good of all the community. And of course, it's a great way to socialize. It is not a technique. as I said, it's a relational way of understanding life and development. Adriana taught us that we need to talk about indigenous knowledge system. I know Nick is writing something like this. So we need to think about this, need to make a dialogue with the different knowledge systems. We think in reciprocity and spiritual linkage as a basic moral norms that allow the community to endure and that are generously shared with us as lesson and invitation. It was really insightful for us. And at last, yeah, we have a great experience in territory, and it was an invitation to a reflection about our relation with our ancestors, nature, and our community and ourselves. But it's also a denounce on the genocides of those who can't transmit this knowledge. And I'm trying to translate this idea from Adriana, who is living this every day, and she is teaching us a lot about this need to denounce this genocide happening every day. So that's all. Thank you. Gracias. Obrigado.
Yupanchani.
Yupanchani. Thank you, Adri.
Thank you so much.
Yupanchani.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yupanchani.
I think you know, it's living in Minga mode. I want to thank you all for your involvement and for your amazing work and the way that you're moving with the communities. That's evident, I think, in the invitations you're receiving, and yeah, being in good relations with people, and thinking about how I love that how Indigenous knowledge systems contribute to evaluation, can be applied to evaluation rather than the other way around. So yeah, thank you so much.